Okay, so good afternoon, everybody. Today I'm going to talk to you about reports and dashboards. I'm Laura Benitez. I'm a developer here at Oktana. And you may be thinking, what is a developer doing talking us about reports and dashboards? Well, this is why. I think it is a pretty important topic to talk about since it is a content not commonly seen when starting with Salesforce. It is not given in the developer one preparation for the certification. It is something that I'm currently learning with the builder preparation for the certification. It is in the administrator too. So if anyone is actually interested in those paths, then this topic is going to be um, pretty much important to you. Um, well, it is important too because it is useful to make data-driven decisions. And what does this mean? Well, corporation nowadays needs to make decisions based on on data. They cannot make just these decisions because of a hunch. They need to have supported data to support their decisions. And it can also improve the quality of process since you start making reports and dashboards and stuff like that. You actually realize the fields that you actually need, the objects that may be necessary, and if something is lacking of, and stuff like that that will actually make your processes a little bit better. Okay, so now we're going to get started with what is a report. So in a simple way, a report is just a lot of records that meet certain criteria that you actually define, but it's actually much more than this. With these reports, you can actually filter them, you can group them, you can even do math with your records, and you can even display them in a graphical way. And what is a dashboard? Well, a dashboard is a visual representation of some key metrics and trends for records in your org. What is the relationship between dashboards and with dashboards and reports? It's 1-to-1. That means that in one dashboard, you can actually take just one report to represent it. You can actually have a lot of dashboards of the same report, but with one dashboard, it's only one report and that it can be based. We're going to start talking about analyzing our data with, spoiler alert, reports. We do this with something called Report Builder. That is the tool that Salesforce provides us. It's a point-and-click interface, as they call them. It lets us drag and drop some fields in our report. We are going to see about that later. Okay, so the first step to actually building a report is selecting something called report type. These report types can be a standard or it can be actually custom created. The report types determines which fields and records are available for use when creating a report. This is based on the relationship that you actually establish between a primary object and some related objects. For example, one of the standard report types that we have is contacts and accounts, and in which contacts will be the primary object and accounts will be the related object. Reports display only records that meet the criteria defined in the report type. So that's why this is a key of building the report types, because based on this report type, we're going to have the report, and based on that report, we're going to build the dashboard. As we talked about earlier, we can actually create our custom report types. Report types allows you to build a kind of a framework in the report wizard from which users can actually create customized reports as they want it. When you specify in the report wizard, you will be given a choice between a primary object and some objects related to it. If you specify just one primary object, well, your report will only include records for that object. If you specify a related object, like products, then your report type will include primary objects with or without, depending on the configuration of that related object. This is why we talk about configuration. In this case, for example, we talk about contacts and accounts. In this case, for example, if we have a configuration of with, then we're going to have only the contacts that have a, a account related. You see, it's just the one that matches. If we have a with or without configuration, we're going to have all the accounts and not the all the contacts, sorry, but not the accounts that do not have contacts. You are going to may or may not have related objects. One way we can refine our reports is by using filters. Um, when you use the report builder to ask a question about your data, filters and filter logic actually allows you to be a little bit more specific. You can use cross-object filters, or you can even use something called filter logic. With cross-object filters, you will have, it's kind of a way to extend your reports to objects related to the original object defined in the report type. This is a way of fine-tune the results without writing code or using formulas. It's the most common way to use these crop object filters is by managing exceptions. That we will see it later. The other way is using filter logic. Filter logic lets you apply filters based on conditions. You can have one condition and a second condition or a third condition. You use and with or. Another way to customize your record is using bucket columns. Bucket columns is a way of categorizing your data. You can categorize report records without creating a formula or a custom field, just by buckering them. When you create a bucket column, you define multiple categories or buckets used to group report values. Like any other column in your report, you can actually sort them, you can filter them, and you can even group by these bucket columns. Something is called formats. Salesforce provides us with three available formats. We have the tabular, that is the default by Salesforce. We have the summary, and we have the matrix. With a tabular report, you kind of have like a spreadsheet that it's more common using some tools like Excel or stuff like that. They actually consist in an ordered set of fields in columns with each matching record listed in a row. As you can see here, is an ordered set of values of records. Another one is summary reports. These summary reports are pretty similar to the tabular ones, but they actually let you group your data by rows. As you can see here, they selected the field called priority. With priority, you see high and low, and based on that, your records are grouped by. We have something else called matrix reports. Matrix reports allows you to group by row and by column. As you see here, it is grouped by rows using closed months, and we have grouped by columns with the type field. As you see here, there's existing business, there is the new business type, and it is filtered by columns. Okay, so we're going to talk about now visualization. Uh, a way to visualize our data is with Dashboard Builder. We have Report Builder for reports, and we have Dashboard Builder for the dashboards. The Dashboard Builder is an intuitive interface for building the dashboards from the source reports that you created in Salesforce, and you actually select them. And you display the data in a graphical layout. Salesforce dashboards present multiple reports side by side using dashboard components and a single dashboard page layout. There's also this way of representing the data in a graphical way that's called report charts. It's when you don't want to actually create you don't actually want to create a dashboard. You simply want to have in a single view your report results and a data that represents the data that you selected previously. This is summing up the way it works. That's why it's pretty much essential that you the report type selected in a way that will fit you the most. In this graphic, we see that report types help the reports, and with the reports, you create your dashboards. If your report type does not um, reflect the way you want your records to be filtered and you want your records to be shown, your reports and your dashboard will not do anything that will compensate it. So report types is essential. There's something called share and subscribe, a way of Salesforce to talk about their privacy settings with their reports and dashboards is by setting um, folder sharing. Folder sharing allows you to restrict the access. You can use users, you can use roles and their subordinates, territories and their subordinates. You can use with public and with private groups. Subscribe and get report notifications. This is a way Salesforce allows you to be updated with the updates of your reports and dashboards. You can, instead of clicking the run button once over and over, you can just subscribe to the report or the notification, whatever it is you want to subscribe to, and you can actually select when you want the notifications to get to you. You can select if you want them daily, if you want them weekly, or if you want them monthly. You can select the day you want them to get to you, the hour, the time. You can specify to which that um, that update is gonna get. It's like having a personal report assistant on demand. Okay, here are some resources that I consider um, really useful. In the first and second one, we have contents that are of the trailhead. We have one of the Surface Classic. We have another for the Latent Experience. We even have a Superwatch. If anyone has ever seen what a Superwatch is, I think that you can really have fun with this. Um, there's some extra link with focus on for material. You have links about Salesforce Helper too that I found pretty interesting. Okay, so I think it's time we put this into practice. Okay, so as I talked to you earlier, I think report types is the most, it's the main thing you have to clarify to make it right for your feed. In this case, I'm gonna show you how to create a custom report. For example, we create one. primary object, we can select, I don't know, we can put, um, these are all the objects that you can select to base your data on. I'm gonna select opportunities, is the easiest one. Okay, label, I have shared criteria now. I'm going to put just this example report type. Description, this is a key to put a really good description, since it is something that will help the person choosing this report type. So it is really important that you specify really well. In this case, I'm just going to put something really random. Um, I do not advise to you to do this. Okay, category is a way in which you can put all that's related into a single category. In this case, it goes with opportunity. We want it deployed. We click next. This is the report wizard, by the way. In this case, for example, we have already selected the primary object. We can select until up to 4 objects that will be related. In this case, I'm going to show you, but I'm going to use another one to simplify. So, for example, we are going to search which one can be done with 4 steps. I think it was orders. You see, it goes and adds more steps that you can actually relate. If we put something that does not go far from that, you cannot go far from that. It does not allow you. So we're going to put, it was orders, I think, yes. So I can relate order feed, and you can select comments. You see how it's kind of relating one to another. And this is the what I talk about the configuration. You see, when I put this, you see how it all kind of matches with the primary object that we talk about. This is the may or may not. This is too far complicated. Okay, save. Okay, so we have here the main fields. This is something that allows you to see the fields that you will have available for your report. You can actually edit this layout. For example, if you say, no, there's too much fields and it's actually confusing me, so you just can drag and drop if you don't need it. You drag and drop and you see how it disappears from your layout. I don't need the, I don't need the, I don't know, this one. And that way it goes out of your layout. I think I'm kind of, okay. So I'm going to, this is a way they explain to you what it's about. Okay, so I'll show you how it is to create a custom report type. We're going to talk about reports now. So this is some reports that I already had. I talked to you about the way the privacy goes with reports, so I'm going to show you this one. You can create folders. You put the label, you put the unique name, and once that is created, you can actually share and edit the settings of that. That's what we talk about, that you can set the privacy according to the users, according to the roles, according to the role and subordinates, public groups, and so on. I actually put marketing team here because it's a marketing folder. So I'm going to add more marketing people. Okay, we can put this one on here. With this access, you can say that this group will edit it, will be able to view or manage. In this case, just view. So we share and it goes in here. You can see the marketing team can view, the other one can view, and of course, I'm the owner, I can manage it. Okay, the same things goes with dashboards. We have the folders in here. It is marketing too. My creativity is on point. So with this one, I'm going to show you the main things that we talk about. Oh, I'm gonna show you how our new report is created. So when you create a new report, this is what we saw, the categories. We see opportunities. You see, this is a report, the custom report that we just created. And this is all the report types that are related to opportunities. We can just put all and search whenever you want to. So if you put accounts, you see this is the drag and drop tool. It just lets you drag and drop. Drag, if you drag it, drag and drop. Okay, I have no data from here, so that's why I actually selected the previous one, this one. This actually has data, so we can work with this. Okay, so this is actually with a graph already incorporated. I'm gonna show you how I made it. Okay, this is the drag and drop that I talked about previously. As you see here, which one is the format that we have? We have the format that classifies our data by rows. You can see here, it is 100, it is 90, and so on. It is grouped by the probability. It is just showing the 70 until 75% because I actually managed to restrict it in the filter. Here I just put it greater than 70%. So you can put whatever you want to. If we want our records to be grouped by rows and by columns, we can add another one. We can select type in here and we drop it, drop it. And you see here how our data is actually now grouped by columns. You see the existing customer, that is one of the types. You have the new customer, there is another type. Oh, okay. So we're just going to delete it because it's not as nice as the other view. Okay, these are all the fields that are showing in here. You see it is a pretty long. Okay, so we can actually delete one of them. We can, for example, product date. I don't need product code. I don't need this. So it disappears product code from here. We can add it here too. I think type is not here. So I'm going to type. And you see, it's drag and drop, as easy as that. Okay, so we're talking about filters. I talked to you about the probability one. You can do an all time. You can put this is called fiscal quarter, fiscal year, fiscal calendar quarter, stuff like that. You can show the opportunities that are created by me or the opportunities to all of them. You see? This is the most kind of complicated thing with the cross filters. With cross filters, you add them here. You add a cross filter or you add a filter logic. With cross filters is a way of extending the primary object as we already saw. In this case, for example, our primary object is opportunities. So we will have opportunities with or without. That's why it said that with cross filter, you actually use most commonly making exceptions. So in this case, for example, we have opportunities without activities, and you apply them, and you then specify to what currency of activities you are actually referring to. In this case, for example, it's like another filter more than you apply. You put equals, and you can use something called relative date. You can use the calendar one, and you put just a date in here. But pretty cool. A pretty cool way to put your data is using relative date. So I just want you to show me all the opportunities without activities from yesterday. So I put it here and apply. It is the same as we have before, isn't it? Okay, so I put these filters because they are not much restrictive. So we can actually um, keep all the records that we have. So this may not seem that restrictive. But the way I wanted to show is the way the logic filter works. We have one or two that are the conditions that we previously talked about. We can actually change this one and put an on here. And that way the data work, it changes, right? Um, this graphic, I haven't talked about it yet. Um, so that I want to change this to the orange. It's prettier. Okay, so we talk about a way that we can have the graphical representation and the records matching all criteria in one simple way, in one simple view. And we do that creating something called report charts. Are the report charts. We can customize this. We can make it a donut. And you see, we can make it column. And that way our data goes unchanged. You can do this by sum of amount. You see, you can do whatever. Ah, that is corny. You can do whatever it takes, um, as long as it matches the thing that you want. Okay, so I'm going to leave it record count. Okay, so this goes here. We can save it. Okay, so we close it. Okay, so we're now going to talk about dashboards. As we talked previously with folders, you can set the privacy. We're going to create a new dashboard. Oh, I have strong creativity today. Opportunities dashboard. Okay, this is 90. I where it is. And you select the folder in which you want to put this dashboard. We want it on marketing. Okay, so here is the dashboard. You can put um, the dashboard based on the reports that you want. You add components in here. You select the report that you want to base in. In the example, we can put this one. I don't know if this has one that's okay. Sorry. Okay, so like the chart, we can establish the way we want our data to be showed. And in this case, we can put it like a donut one. You can select the value that you want to be shown. You can even select it to dark mode. That way, developers love the dark mode. Okay, so let's add it. That way, you go and fill your whole dashboard. You can add more components. That's what I told you about that the relationship between dashboard and report is one-to-one. You can select only one report to a dashboard, but you can actually have a lot of dashboards of the same report. We're going to use the same report. I think it was this one. And we're going to show you just in a different way, this way. You see? It's just as you want your record to be shown. You can drag and drop. You can make this bigger. I don't know, in whatever way you want it to be. And you save it. And it's done. You see? That's how pretty the dashboard is. Okay, so one thing that we talked about too was about subscribing. So this is the way of subscribing. You just put subscribe in there and you select if you want it daily, if you want it weekly, if you want it monthly, the day you want it, the time you want it. You can edit the recipients and stuff like that. It is really cool. We save it. Oh, now it's going to, I'm going to get emails about it. Okay. Um, and that will be. With the reports, you can do the same thing. We're going to select a report and we can subscribe to it too. You see, subscribe. And you subscribe to this too. Another cool thing you can do with um, this report and dashboard thing is that you can put it into a record page if it's a chart with its report, and you can put it the dashboard in an app or a home page. So here, for example, I put something about leads. I put it in a home page. You can make this in a home page or in an app page, as I said. You can put it in this is, you can put it in leads. I think it was leads opportunities. Here, you see, you have the component with the chart. It's pretty cool. So you have statistically a way of controlling your records. We do this by, we can edit the page. And here you got it. You see how is the dashboard in here? So you drag and drop, and there's your beautiful dashboard. And the same goes with the opportunity with this one. So we edit it. And you have the report chart. You see, you just drag and drop and you select which report you want to. In this case, just this one has a chart, so only this one is available. But you can put it whenever you want to. Okay. Another thing that I think I didn't talk to you about was reports about buckets. Okay, not this one. It's getting kind of messy talking about this. Okay, so but it's a really cool to a really cool thing that it has about the bucket thing. You can select the field that you want to be um, doing the buckering. As so we're going to select amount, for example, and here you have the bucket, this column. So your bucket are going to put, I don't know, invest. Here we add it. We can have um, this will be a low investment. This will be up to 1,000. It's gonna be medium, and this is going to be high. Apply, and you see that's the way we categorize our data. You have low, medium, high. You can actually order by this, whatever you want. It's like another column more, but without having to create another field. Okay, so I think that will be it for this part. If anyone has any question, you're more than welcome to say. Um, this is the part for this. Any questions? It scares me, the sound of, I don't know what it is. Ah, okay, so you can put any questions that you have in the chat. So I'm going to read them. So any questions you have, you can ask them there if there's any question. I think it was pretty clear then. No questions.
Okay. Thank you, Laura, and thank you to everyone for assist.
Okay, thank you so much to everybody for keeping up with this presentation. I know it is not a topic that you commonly see or use, so it's just to have the basics about this topic. If you have any question, you can ask me, or you can, I don't know, I think I will be able to answer whatever you have in mind. If you have anything to add that didn't say it in the right way, you can tell me too. I have no problem. You're more than welcome to give any suggestions that you have. Thank you so much, everybody.